to tell us why this is important. Lawson, a very good morning to you. Thanks for your time. Why is it imperative? Why is it that you are pushing for parties to disclose their funders on their own, of their own accord?
Well, I think this debacle surrounding the Bosasa donation to the Cyril Ramaphosa presidential campaign fund last year highlights the necessity and the importance of full disclosure when it comes to funding of politicians and political parties. And the reason we're saying that the party should conform with the bill, even though it is not part of the law as yet, is because it is those very same political parties that are represented in Parliament that passed this piece of legislation. And although it is waiting the assent of the President, there should, in my opinion, be a moral obligation on those political parties, having supported the bill, having passed the bill, to now act in accordance with the provisions of the legislation that they themselves drafted.
So just explain to us, I mean, what would be the importance of knowing who is funding a political party? What are the consequences? What are the issues around this as to agendas of whether it's a corporate, agendas of individuals, and what this means for political parties and what we need to watch out for? What are the dangers? What are the traps when it comes to donations for political parties?
Well, I think the main issue is that we know this from examples all across the world, and it's not something that's peculiar or unique to South Africa, but that money and politics don't mix very well. And often there is real corruption, there's real undue influence, or at the very least there are perceptions of it. And I think the key issue here is that transparency allows the voters to make up their mind that if Company X is donating a large sum of money to a particular political party, and one can see whether that political party changes its policies in order to benefit that particular company or not, and people can draw their own conclusions from that. But I think transparency in knowing who is funding political parties is part of the group of information that voters need to assess before making their decision as to which party to support in an election. This is the point that was underscored by the Constitutional Court earlier this year in the My Vote Counts case, when the court said that the right to vote that is enshrined in the Constitution is incomplete unless the electorate have access to this information. So it is a fundamental part of our constitutional rights.
Correctly, then the public will have a right to know where the money is coming from for these political campaigns.